YouTube family. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. I want to talk to you all today about, and I know I've done a lot of talking lately about these toxic work environments, y'all. Something's got to give. This is just getting crazy. I ran across an article the other day, and I just wanted to talk to you all briefly about it, and let me know what your take is on it, what you guys think. I made some quick notes, so you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes. And I think basically, I'm just paraphrasing. This is not exactly how the title went, but it was something like why so many people want to quit their jobs, or retire early. And it talked about the toxic work environment. And then I had another one of those aha moments as I was reading through some of the points that they were making. And to me, it sounds a lot like they want us to quit, or they're pushing us out the door. To me, is what it seems like. Because a lot of this, and I see it time and time again. A lot of this it plays out and it has the same scenarios running, and people are pretty much. It's like a ground of how people are feeling, and what brings them to the point to where they want to quit or they want to retire. And a lot of people, are quitting and retiring too. A lot of people are quitting, most importantly, without another job lined up, without a backup plan. And that's what was kind of interesting to me. Like, you're just willing to just give up and just walk away from it. And what made me think about that is what happens and what makes a work environment so bad that it pushes you to that point. And you all can probably chime in and let me know, but there's a lot of things, right? There's a lot of things going on. Number one is the stress. They just push and push and push and push and make you work. And the work hours sometimes are just not bearable, and the pay does not equate to the stress level. Take for instance the air traffic controllers and what they're going through, and I know you guys have probably seen it in the news. Being an air traffic controller is very, very one of the most stressful jobs there is, right? I mean, you got people's lives in your hands, basically. And a lot of those folks are just walking off the job because the stress level is too high, and the pressure that's put on those folks. So that's number one, is the stress. Number two would be no work-life balance. And that's something that I'm struggling with right now. Whereas before this administration came in, we had work-life balance. And for a lot of the federal employees and a lot of people who work in the private sector too, a lot of people that have they're on these remote positions that were recently taken away. You had work-life balance, and when you don't have that, like a lot of you have, smaller kids at home, especially with the summertime coming up, you were able to do your job and keep an eye on your kids, especially if they were older and they just needed minimum supervision. You were still able to perform your job as well as be at home for your kids, and that sort of thing. Or if you have elderly parents, that kind of thing that need care. So a lot of us, that's been taken away from us, be it private sector again or the federal worker. And that's a lot of stress. And that goes back to the point of, being very stressful. That's a lot of stress on us. It's a lot of stress on people. So a lot of times it's just not worth it. And you're just like, the heck with it, right? Number three, low, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, the pay. The pay is not keeping up with the cost of things. And we all know the grocery stores, your medicine, education, school, college, everything is up. Everything. And our pay is not keeping up the pace. A lot of these employers, they don't give raises. And I know with the federal workers, we're not going to get a raise this year. So, I mean, it's just not federal workers, it's everywhere. A lot of people, they just don't get raises. And that's not, I lost my paper. That's not fair because everything is going up. but our paychecks, right? So everything's going up, but our paychecks are not. And the way we're treated in the workplace, poor treatment. I talked about this a little bit in my other video about how my current leadership, they're treating us all like crap. We do the work, we're meeting our goals, surpassing our goals in a lot of cases. They don't care. It's like, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. Nobody's looking for attaboy and nobody's looking for the pat on the back, but at least when, there are certain, how can I say, when there are certain, I would say, privileges that can be granted, like I had mentioned in my other video, if we have a training session and, if we were able to work from home, why not grant us that? Why take that away, for just that one day or however long the training class is? I think the one I was speaking about was for a whole week. Why not let us, and indulge in that? If we're meeting our goals, we're surpassing our goals, we're making you look good, why not give us that extra little, treatment? And it's the small things, y'all. Okay, you can't give us a pay raise. Okay, so why not let us have that work-life balance, once in a while when, the opportunity comes up? That's all we're asking for, right? And the other, I think the last thing I want to talk about is the changing priorities and the changing goals in the workplace. I'm not sure if you guys have experienced it, but I have experienced this, especially with the current, I told you guys I moved jobs about a year ago now. I don't know, it's going on 2 years. It seemed like forever. But anyway, I switched departments and our goals just keep changing. They started out with one set of goals. Once everybody met that, they kept putting the goals up. They kept putting the goals up, which is fine, but you're rating me when it comes to, let's say, evaluation time. I don't think it's fair that you keep changing the goals and then your ratings are not being reflective upon that. Meaning you set one set of goals. Okay, let that set of goals ride out for that rating period. Let's say we met those goals or we surpassed those goals. Give us our credit. Give us what credit is due. And let's say the next rating cycle, they were like, okay, you guys met that goal, then let's raise it in the next rating cycle. But not all within the same rating cycle. You just keep changing it so that we can never obtain it, right? So that's what it seems like to me. It's like you're setting us up for failure. You have one set of goals set out. We meet that and you're like, okay, they met that. Let's change it. Let's up it. Let's up the ante. Let's up it. Let's up it. And then we can never achieve it. So that's unrealistic. That's not good. And so again, that adds to the toxicity and that just makes for, to me, a bad work environment. I don't know if you guys have experienced that, but it's just not fun. This is my first time being in this type of work environment. I've been working, I told you all, I've been working for the federal government 19 years, going on 20. It'll be 20 years in January. And I've had quite a few supervisors within that time span, more than I can count, actually. And this is the first time, I guess because it's the most recent, this is the first time I've experienced something like this. And I don't know if it's a generational thing. And that's my last point I wanted to make about generational differences. And my daughter doesn't like when I bring this up because she's young and she was a supervisor when she was in her 20s. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. And, kudos to you guys who are, jobbing it and you're supervisors and you're young and you shoot to the top real quick. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to the ones who are, I would say, my age, maybe 10 years, maybe 10, 15 years younger than me. I think somehow there's like a disconnect. I don't know, because I feel like with my current leadership, they're younger, but my previous leadership was younger than me also. I didn't have these issues. So I wouldn't necessarily say in this instance it's a generational thing. Maybe in other instances it can be. But these guys, I just don't click with them. I don't get them. I don't know if maybe because we're from a different part of the country, and then you have that cultural difference. I live in the South. I'm not from the South. I'm from the North, actually. I grew up in the North, but I've been living in the South for the past 25 years plus. Okay, so and I don't want to say I've adapted to the way things are done into the South, but wherever you were brought up, your core values, those stay with you. So I was brought up a certain way, and so I just carry that with me wherever I go, no matter where I'm at. But these folks, I don't know. I don't know what kind of values they have. I don't know. They're from the Midwest. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know if people in the Midwest act a certain way or they're different. I don't know. And I'm not, trying to make this a divisive thing. I'm just trying to understand the disconnect because all my supervisors I've had here, most of them are not from here either. They're from different places all over. But we tend to have the same core values and the same mindset. Whereas my current leadership, we're just not, I don't click with them. I just don't get it. I don't know where the mindset is. It's just different. So I just want to leave that with you guys, a little food for thought. Have any of you ever experienced anything like this? I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. I'm just trying to understand it so that I can move forward. And I guess going back to what I think I'm going to title this video, I think they're trying to push us out, y'all. I think, when you get a lot of these scenarios that are in the making, and a lot of these scenarios are playing out, to me, the handwriting's on the wall. It's like they want to get rid of us. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.